Hello, people. Jamie Carragher has ranked his top 10 Liverpool players of all time, and it has caused quite a bit of controversy. So I thought, why not have a look at his list? Let's talk about it. Let's see where you would place certain players. Some players are very low, in my opinion. Some players need to be higher. Some players need to be dropped down. But overall, it is Carragher's list at the end of the day. I would say the timing of it is a little bit off, but I'm going to get onto that now in a second. So before we get into it, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the video. Let's talk about it. So we're going to start on number 8. Reason being is he's obviously talked about Carragher, who Liverpool's top appearance holder, and then Kevin Keegan, who was such a big figurehead at Liverpool, helping them win their first European Cup. But let's get into it from number 8.
I'm going to go for a current player, and I'm going to go for Virgil van Dijk. For me, he's the best centre-back I've seen in the Premier League era, no doubt. One of the greatest centre-backs I've ever seen play the game. Even some of the top strikers I see him against, it just feels at times easy for him. His passing range, his pace, ability on the ball. There's no real weakness with Virgil van Dijk. 75 million quid. Absolute steal.
He's not wrong. 75 million quid for Virgil van Dijk. That is an absolute steal considering what he has done. 2 Premier Leagues, Champions League, FA Cup, whatever you want. Every single trophy imaginable. He probably potentially could have had a Ballon d'Or as well. I think if the things had went a different way, in a different reality, he probably would have a Ballon d'Or. But UEFA's Men Player of the Year, Premier League Player of the Season, he has done it all. He's been an absolute steal, and I think rightly so is in the top 10 Liverpool players of all time. But he's not the highest defender. The next person is.
Van Dijk isn't the greatest centre-back to play for Liverpool in my eyes. He's just a very close second, but that is Alan Hansen. He's almost played in every great Liverpool team. When you think of Liverpool going a long time without winning, I think a lot of that stops when Alan Hansen stops playing. And it doesn't start again until maybe Virgil van Dijk comes, so God knows what those centre-backs in the middle were doing. He was different to every other centre-back in the first division at that time. It was about heading it and kicking it and kicking players. That wasn't Alan Hansen at all. As I said, the greatest centre-back to ever play for Liverpool Football Club.
So Alan Hansen, and I think this is why this list is obviously going to be a little bit controversial, because a lot of people that watch football nowadays may be a little bit young, especially on social media. They want to watch Alan Hansen. But my dad has talked about Alan Hansen, and he has said how good of a footballer he was. If you go back to last season, at the last game of the season, when Virgil van Dijk and Alan Hansen were standing beside each other, Virgil van Dijk had given praise to Alan Hansen and recognised him for how good he actually was at Liverpool. And I think for a lot of us that haven't seen Alan Hansen play, sometimes I would say it's almost more difficult to build a legacy at a club, build a history at a club that haven't had the history that of years gone by. Virgil van Dijk has come into Liverpool and they obviously have a history of winning, of being successful, and it hasn't been as successful maybe in, say, the 10 or 20 years before Virgil van Dijk came, but the legacy was there. Alan Hansen was one of the players that built that legacy, so I do understand why he is ahead of Van Dijk in this case.
Number 6, I'm going to go for the Egyptian king.
Hold on a second. Number 6. This is where, in my opinion, I think it's a little bit low.
Mo Salah. The thing I love about Mo Salah is the consistency, the longevity. Even some great players at times, you know, they're not at the same level and they come back the year after. Mo Salah gets 30 goals every season for Liverpool. He's never injured. I love that.
He didn't get 30 goals this season, to be fair.
Fact about players, I love players who are on that team sheet week after week, and that's exactly what Mo Salah is. He's got some iconic moments, and for me, one of the greatest players and greatest goal scorers who's ever seen at Liverpool football.
Listen, I think Carragher gets a bad rap and says that he has biases against Salah, or he doesn't like Salah, doesn't rate Salah, and that's such a lie. It is such a lie. People will see snippets and say, you have an agenda against Salah. He doesn't. He absolutely does rate him. He appreciates everything he's done for the club, but he obviously grew up watching some of these Liverpool players that were so successful, and he was an Everton fan at this time, so he knows how good they were, seeing them score goals against his own club. But I think in my reason is that I think in this modern era of football, it's more difficult to play football now, and it's more intense than it was maybe, say, 30, 40 years ago. And I think Salah, for what he has done to help get Liverpool back to 2 Premier Leagues, not 1 Premier League, 2 Premier Leagues, and he won the one last year basically on his own as a forward. A Champions League goal scorer in the final, semi-final. He's done everything. 3 times Premier League Player of the Year, PFA Player of the Year. He's just been unbelievable. And I think he probably, in my opinion, should be in the top 3 at least. I want to take a quick second just to say a big thank you to the official sponsor of today's video, Champions Travel. They are the official sponsor of the Football Story. And if you're ever looking to go to Premier League games, La Liga game, Bundesliga games, they have got you covered. They are 100% guaranteed. I have used them so many times going from Ireland to Liverpool games, and they are absolutely unbelievable. Check out the link in my description for more details. I'm going to skip on to the top 3. He's put Ian Rush and John Barnes in his 5th and 4th spots. 2 unbelievable players, but as I said, they're obviously from years gone by. But in my opinion, I would have Salah ahead of them.
Player he ever saw play for Liverpool, and that is Graham Souness. Very rarely do you see a midfield player with that steel, but also with that style. People don't talk about Graham Souness enough outside of Liverpool Football Club about how good he was. I think for the time he would have been the best central midfield player in Europe and world football. At number 2, I am going to go for
Graham Souness. It's one of those things with pundits nowadays. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff when Liverpool were poor. He was obviously a pundit. The Pogba stuff you kind of talk about. A lot of people just write him off as someone who doesn't know too much about football. But as Carragher said there, and my dad would have told me a lot about Souness, he was unbelievable. Unbelievable. So, I don't know. Can you argue him being 3rd for as good as he was? Obviously, Carragher rates Barnes and Rush, who Rush is Liverpool's all-time top goal scorer, and he has him ahead of them. Maybe I would put Salah ahead of him, but that's preference, I would say.
For the greatest figure in the history of Liverpool Football Club, and that is Kenny Dalglish. What a player, what a brain. We don't just have flair players at this club who are just sort of footballers, the fighters as well, the men. And that's the way I describe Kenny Dalglish. He was the best centre-forward in the world in the early 80s. Remarkable footballer, remarkable man, remarkable football brain. And that's why he comes 2nd for me. And
yeah, I think Kenny Dalglish, to be fair, right? He came in and he replaced Kevin Keegan at that time. And Liverpool were seen as maybe a team that weren't going to be able to replace someone who was as good as Kevin Keegan. But Kenny Dalglish comes in. It's like someone coming in now to replace Salah and then going on to be better than Salah. Like, it's almost impossible to do. And for what he done, obviously he scored a goal in the European Cup to help Liverpool win it. Like, he was just unbelievable. And I think rightly he is probably number 2nd.
Number 1, we all know who it is. My big mate, Steven Gerrard. He probably didn't play with the calibre of player that Kenny, Graham or John Barnes played with as well, and probably helped those teams win more trophies or certainly league titles. But could they do what Stevie Gerrard did? And could we have achieved what we did as a team? Without Stevie Gerrard, and we put this player in our team, that European Cup final in 2005, I go back to the FA Cup final in 2006. And they are performances for the ages.
You know what's funny is, right? I think with Gerrard, you could effectively have him play in the 80s team, the 2020s team, the team that he played in, and he would be the best player in every single one of those teams. And I think that's why he's number 1. And that does make sense in my opinion. I think Gerrard, even for me, he's still number 1. I think if you put maybe Souness in a team now, if you put Dalglish in a team now, if you put Salah in one of the teams years gone by, yes, they would still obviously be good, but would they reach the same levels that they reached when they were playing for all those unbelievable teams? Probably not. I think Gerrard would do all of that and more. So let me know what you think of the list. If you enjoyed the content, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. See you in the next one.